Just before we start, I'd like to point out that since we're just youngsters, we're not actually the victims of deprived childhoods. But I can assure you that we're making up for that by leading depraved adulthood. You should grow a little bit, Myles.
This is taken from Unfulfilled Promise Memories of Donogh O'Malley. Just a little bit of background. In a dual debate, Donogh O'Malley, then Minister for Education, and Deputy Oliver J. Flanagan engaged in a heated debate over the suitability of an anthology of short stories prescribed by the Department of Education for Intermediate Certificate English. Flanagan found two stories objectionable. One was Guest of the Nation by Frank O'Connor, and the other was The Trout by Sean Freelon, and he disapproved them because of inappropriate language. He went on to say,
"This type of language might be expected in a low-class pigeon-pot school, but should not be contained in a book for young children, many of whom are in their first years of preparation for, perhaps, a religious life, or to take their place in whatever profession they are going to follow. Maybe we are reaching the stage of modern teaching when everything is being modernized. But if this type of language is to be used in our textbooks, I am sorry we did not remain old-fashioned. On page 198, one sees the expression, for Christ's sake. There are numerous parents who will not allow their children to use that expression. It would be wrong and improper."
The Minister's response was somewhat mischievous, but it was highly effective, delivered with flair and humour. In reference to The Trout, O'Malley suggested that the Deputy had not read the story in its entirety.
"The Trout?"
Yes.
From cover to cover, very suggestive. I did not like it.
Does the Deputy, if he has read the story, realise that it is his own vivid and excitable imagination?
No, some parents wrote to me.
I would be pointing out to the Deputy that if he had read the story, he would see this young girl is going into the tunnel to catch a trout, and not to catch anything else. If these ideas which the Deputy is putting into Irish minds, which no doubt will be widely published in tomorrow's papers, are all he can find in Sean O'Freelon's The Trout, which has been described also as the finest story of O'Freelon, then all I can say is God help us. And it is a very lucky thing that O'Freelon and O'Connor cannot combine to write a story on the proceedings here tonight and on the last day. It is safe to say that 5 or 10 years hence, world television, to which nothing will be sacred, will be thrown open to us from many stations in the sky. It may have seemed to the committee that the responsible milieu of the classroom is, next to the home, the best place to prepare the pupils for what we must expect in a world of such open communication, which is coming, if indeed it is not already upon us. It should be said that the words concerned, apart from their legal sense, do not carry, at least in Ireland, a connotation other than mild, vulgar opprobrium. Curiously enough, if preceded by the adjective poor, they would express sympathy. I think the Deputy would agree with that. In the south of Ireland, if he said, John fell down a cliff and the poor whore was killed.
If he is a poor bastard or a poor whore, he is still a bastard or a whore.
If Deputy Flanagan went down to the south of Ireland at a by-election, pulled up to the side of the road and was told, John fell down a cliff and the poor whore was killed,
I would say, Lord have mercy on him.
The Deputy would say rightly, the Lord have mercy on him. He would not start slagging him for using that type of language. He would say, the poor whore, Lord have mercy on him.
I would not. I would leave out poor whore. I do not care for that type of language.
I think the ordinary, reasonably minded person appreciates the fact that we are doing a good service in the teaching of English literature to our children. Anyone who has read this story would not have the slightest qualms of conscience about letting a child read it. It fits so aptly to the whole trend of the story. If the mentality of Deputy Flanagan is like that of the unfortunate girl who went into the tunnel to catch a trout and not to catch anything else. The Lord have mercy on us all.